Hello and welcome. My name is Matthias Schwentek. The following video is about the Empowerment and Choices Map. Many people talk about empowerment, and did you ever ask yourself what that could really mean? I'd like to explain in the following video below so that you can get empowered in the most possible way. Some people might think when it comes to giving that giving is only about doing the action, so that the action of giving becomes the most important priority. As we find in the engagement system, there is as well a giving that does not include any action at all. So to be fully empowered, we need to realize that we have to do two different things simultaneously as the giver and the receiver. As the giver, we put our desires aside and taking responsibility for our limits. And as a receiver, we put our desire first within the limits of the giver. To find what giving really is, we need to stop giving in total for a while to find what receiving really is without giving anything. Because only when we know what our desire really is, we know what we have to put aside when we give. Without knowing what receiving is and how our desire feels like, we simply don't know what we need to put aside when we give, so that giving is not ending up in wanting something. So there is a specific formula for this magic, and that is called spaciousness. Spaciousness for having enough time to making choices about what we want and what our limits are. When we determine between the giver and the receiver, we need to slow things radically down to give the receiver enough time for themselves to notice what they want, to trust what they want is true and real, value that this is important and to own their desire, and to communicate what they want. The basic communication here is making a request. That is either, can I do such and such for myself? Or, can you do such and such for me? And then the giver has to go through the same sequence. Slowing down enough to notice what their limits are, trust their limits, value their limits, and communicate their limits. And the limits are based on what are you willing to do. That might sound like with a hell yes, yes but, or a no, or maybe something completely different that you would like to negotiate on time, space, duration, action, and other factors that are important for you. When the agreement comes to a successful result, we have infinite possible things we can choose from when we know how to choose. And that includes either action from the giver or action from the receiver for themselves. And this is what I call empowerment. That is where the Somatic Consent Engagement System might support you on your journey of empowerment. For more information on the engagement system, please look at www.somaticconsent.com. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.